as big as it gets outside of Khabib. This is the biggest event. The interim title and fighting the guy with the longest win streak in the division and the guy that's been dominant for the longest, beating up everybody, beating up Cowboy, beating up Pettis. I mean, beating up Barboza. I mean, Justin Gaethje put on a show tonight. I mean, I'm going to have to go over and watch this 3 or 4 times to really let it sink in. But as the fight went on, we were wondering whether or not he kicked the pace. I mean, the fact that he ate that uppercut, too. I mean, just look at the highlights of this. Justin Gaethje won this fight with clean striking, beautiful technique, and listening to his coaches as well.
Yeah, he did. You know, Justin Gaethje, when you look through the show and you see the types of tweets from the level of athlete and people around the world that were watching, Justin Gaethje's profile will raise 10 levels because of what he did tonight. People love a fight. And now when they hear Justin Gaethje's fighting, they will tune in. But, man, he fought beautifully. He fought as well as I could have ever thought anyone would fight in this situation. Dude said that he blocks everything out, lives in the moment. He sure did. The crowd would have been going insane watching that fight, but Justin Gaethje competed as if they had 20,000 people in here. His counter-striking was phenomenal. His leg kicks, I mean, he said he would start from the bottom and go to the top. He did that, and he broke down a guy who is actually the boogeyman. He broke down Tony Ferguson in a way that we never thought was even possible.
Now, he made Tony human.
Yeah, he did. Now, he beat him up, man.
Joe, if Gaethje and Ferguson were to fight 10 times, I'm not sure exactly how that series would go, but at least in this fight, in terms of urgency and adjustments, I didn't see a whole lot from Tony in his corner.
Well, Tony's a guy that was preparing for Khabib Nurmagomedov.
A grappler.
So he's preparing for the best grappler in the sport. He's preparing for a guy who smothers you. So he's working a lot of his jiu-jitsu. He's working fighting off the bottom. He's working using triangles and elbows from the bottom. Then all of a sudden he's fighting really the scariest striker in the division and a guy who you really can't take down. So good luck with all that. So it was a totally different thing. See, Justin uses his wrestling a la, old school Chuck Liddell style. He uses the wrestling to keep the fight standing. I don't think I've ever seen Justin shoot a takedown once in all of his time in the UFC.
Well, it looked like he was incorporating it a little bit tonight, right? He would touch his legs every now and again and then come up with something. But this guy loves to fight, and honestly, even in the losses, right? He said the reason he lost was because he was having way too much fun.
Yeah.
He was having way too much fun, and you heard Trevor Whitman talk to him in the middle of the fight go, remember, when you got too comfortable last time, you lost twice.
Yeah.
You got finished. So let's get back on track and get back to doing what got us ahead in the first place, and he did that. And look, man, I know Tony Ferguson would never quit, but that was a great stoppage. He had enough, and sometimes you have to save a fighter from themselves, and Justin was going to continue to just beat him up, and if you watch the first 23 minutes of the fight, there wasn't much he was going to be able to do to change the way that fight was going, especially so late when he's fatigued, he's all cut up, he's all beat up. I get it. He wants to go out on his shield, but, man, you take those steps back like that, I don't know what you're supposed to do.
I think it's the perfect stoppage because, we were talking about the Dominic Cruz, Henry Cejudo stoppage. Dom seemed like he was trying to get back to his feet, but still 11 unanswered shots. It's a tough call. This was not a tough call.
No, he did the right thing.
Yeah, he was eating bombs, and Herb Dean, like I said, best in the business. He saw that shaking head thing that he was doing.
Yeah.
He was about to get hurt bad.
We didn't even know what was happening, right? Like, we didn't understand. Look, Tony Ferguson can be odd at times, but even no one could see what was going on there. There was no real explanation as to what maybe he's trying to get the blood out of his eyes. But when you're trying to get the blood out of your eyes, the shark is in the water. Justin Gaethje, he's coming.
I think he was just trying to stay conscious. That's what I think.
Maybe
shaking
his head to be good, right?
We were that close to him getting head kicked or hit with a big bomb.
Yeah, like something that was going to shut the lights off, right? He was very vulnerable.
Yes.
And look, the champ just tweeted, it was so impressive. Congratulations, very smart fight. And before he wrote no comment, Khabib now, as a guy, I just saw the most dangerous guy in the division for Khabib Nurmagomedov because he can strike so well and he can wrestle so well. This dude is the real deal, and he's scary, and he's tough, and he hits hard, and he's in great shape. He did that on 5 weeks, Joe.
And he's also going to get the confidence that comes from being able to put that together.
And being a champion.
And knowing if he listens to his coach, and he did, he makes the adjustments, and he did. He wins against the scariest division next to Khabib.
And we spoke about the cardio of Tony Ferguson, Joe, and it was on display, right? Because he was still standing.
Yes.
If you're not in such great shape, you get knocked out by one of those punches.
Oh, yeah.
Tony's been training since January. Justin Gaethje got this fight on 5.5 weeks, and in that 5th round, he looked just as sharp as he did in round number 1.
He listened to Trevor Whitman. He took a little bit off of the punches, just landed them clean, stopped trying to land every punch that's a knockout blow, and he fought phenomenal.
He was loading up bad early in the fight, and you realize that Tony was not going anywhere. He wasn't going nowhere.
No.
So load up all you want. Dude was taking a shot, right, John?
Yeah, I want to spin it forward to the co-headliner in the nature of time, guys, because there's a lot to unpack on Henry Cejudo, who retired after disposing of Dominic Cruz in round 2. We're going to show you the highlights here tonight, Joe, but seminal moment in the fight, the headbutt, and then 10 seconds later, Henry Cejudo had finished Dominic Cruz.
Well, the game plan was amazing. I mean, the game plan was stop all that crazy movement with nasty kicks. I mean, he was just slicing through those legs of Dominic Cruz. But the big knee that he landed, boy, I mean, that's as hurt as we've ever seen Dominic Cruz in right here. Boom! I mean, that's as hurt as Dominic Cruz has ever been in his career. And Henry swarmed over him, and he was trying to get back to the feet, but I see the stoppage. It makes sense.
Every time I watch it, I'm more sure that it wasn't a bad stoppage, right? So many unanswered strikes. Right away, you see Dominic starting to build, but when Henry landed that knee, and then he landed the follow-up shots, and look, man, they always say when you get hit with one, you never take the follow-up. When Dom went to his knees and Henry landed that big right hand, that's when Dominic went to his belly. Right before, he looked like he was going to face him, try to maybe take an underhook, pull him into a guard. But when he hit him with the right hand, Dom goes to his belly. Now that posture starts to look different to the referee. And it's scary. And then 11 unanswered strikes. It's insane. Now, you have to talk about the preparation of Henry Cejudo. We know how well-prepared Dominic Cruz always is. Those leg kicks, Joe, he threw every part of his body into every one of them. And he was trying to slow Dominic Cruz down and also poke at Dominic's ego a little bit to make him stand in front of you and fight him opposed to just moving around so much.
Right. It was brilliant. I mean, it was a brilliant game plan against one of the most crafty, experienced guys in the sport, and a guy who's got just an amazing mind for MMA. And Henry Cejudo, he's just a winner. He knows how to win.
He's a winner. And Joe, you know, he was retiring there. You didn't ask him, like, what are you doing? I mean, you're on top of the world.
I knew he was thinking about it already. He had been talking about it already.
So you were aware a little bit, so it was like, I mean, I talked to his coach earlier in the week, and he said, man, Henry keeps talking about retiring. I don't understand. So I'm kind of thinking, you know, Triple C, King of Cringe, a cringe moment.
I think that guy can go and do whatever he wants.
Hey, Joe.
He can do whatever he wants. Figure out whatever it is that he wants to excel at, and he'll be great at that too.
I think people are looking at it and going, oh, he's going to be back. At 21 years old, as the Olympic champion, he retired from wrestling, right? And didn't go right into fighting. It's not like he quit wrestling to start fighting. He stopped wrestling to do other things, speaking engagements, all these other things. And now he's the king of the world. He's number 1, 2, 3, behind Jones and Habib, pound fighter in the world. And he's saying, you know what, I'm out. I got a girlfriend now.
Yeah, right.
15-year-old got a new girlfriend.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to go spend time with my girl. I got my money. I mean, Henry Cejudo can, dude's not slowing down. He's only getting better.
Yeah, and he's still in his athletic prime, but if he decides that that's it, then hey.
And they got some killers at 135, but who do you pick against Henry Cejudo? Aljamain Sterling, Piotr Jan, those guys are killers. But how do you pick anybody against Henry Cejudo with the way he's been improving?
Right. And he's still the flyweight champ. That's crazy. So the guy retires and he opens up 2 divisions.
That's kind of nuts, huh?
That's kind of nuts.
We've seen a lot of temporary retirements in mixed martial arts, but this one feels like there might be some finality, Joe. We'll have to see,
man. Different guy.
I think it is. If I had to guess, I'd say the guy retires and that's it. And he goes down in history, in his eyes, as the greatest of all time. Certainly he's in the argument. Olympic gold, greatest combat sports athlete.
Yes. But, hey, what a short period of time.
Yes.
He was only here for how long? 5, 7 years? 6 years?
Right.
Amazing.
Right.
Ain't been long.
There's no flyweight champ right now because of the missing weight in the Benavidez fight. So, you know, he's in this situation where, the guy leaves the top of the heap. Like, really the top of the heap.
On top of the world. Well, gentlemen, memorable night for many reasons. Hopefully when we reconvene at UFC 250, we're a little close.